Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today we're going to look at an athlete that submitted this video on the Facebook group, Did You Swim Today? And she was just asking for some help with her stroke. So I thought I'd take a look and see what we could see. So this is just a short clip. I'll let it play and you guys can take a look and then we'll start talking about it. Okay, so let's just slow it down first. So the first thing we want to look at is, hey, how long is she on the water? And, look, she's pretty good. There's a little bit of an angle. You can see her hips are a little bit lower, head's a little bit higher, feet are a little bit underwater, but in general, pretty good. Here looks pretty good. So if we zoom up on when she takes the breath, she's breathing into the pocket. There's one goggle in, one goggle out the water. That looks pretty good. Looks decent. Now, we're losing some information because we're not getting the full picture here because we don't have other angles to look at and see. The different sides can only give you so much information of what's really going on with the stroke. So that's why it's really important to get multiple angles, particularly below the water, of what's happening. Basically, because below the water is where the propulsion occurs. So it's great being able to see the top, but underwater is usually the best angle to look at. So here's the one thing that we can start to see, because we always want to go back to, hey, how stable is this athlete in the water? So, and we want to know that because stability in the water always, and this goes for any athlete, stability always relates to how much power and efficiency you can deliver as an athlete. So you become less stable, doesn't matter how fit or efficient you are, all of that is going to go down. So what we want is, hey, how stable is this athlete? So what are kind of some of the hallmarks of instability? So the first one would be, you can see she turns to the side here to breathe, and then her feet come way apart. So that's always an indication that either the athlete is making some movement that is increasing instability, or their core isn't engaged enough, isn't strong enough to deal with the instability that's going on. So that's the first thing we want to think about. So here we go. We got that. And I think she does it again too. Yeah, there's another one right there. Within that one breath. So one of the things that scissor kick can do is, it's making us a lot wider in the water. So we're increasing drag. This drag at the back is going to typically drag you down in the back end. The other thing that we want to think about is, if we're looking more kind of, and I'm going to draw a horrible stick figure here. So this is like the athlete and we're looking at them head on. So what we want to think about is drag is operating effectively around us in the water by 360 degrees. There's some parts of the body that are out of the water, but for the most part, everything is in the water and drag is impacting every part of the swimmer's body. And what we want to think about is ultimately where we want to get to. It's a lot like the bike, where you're trying to get down to the minimal amount of frontal drag possible, but still retain the ability to generate power, or the most amount of power. So, what we want is, hey, we're trying to swim down this kind of narrowing pipeline where we don't touch the sides. And what that means is that we're really, really stable in the water. The movements that we're making are very, very stable. And we're not adding any instability to the movement that we make. Everything is in the service then of driving the stroke straight forward. So if we keep on, going forward, you can see on kind of her left side here, she turns the hand basically towards her thigh, right kind of towards the back. And what you'd prefer to see would be, you can start to see it. It's already kind of turned to the side right there. You'd prefer to see the hand turned outward a little bit to kind of counteract this rotation. So actually this rotation. So you'd really need to be able to drive the hand straight back, you'd need to be able to turn the hand out a little bit away from this rotation. Then you can see right here, here's this. So we're about to start the catch here. So a lot of drag right at the start of the catch. And then here that elbow enters in basically first. You can see because that's basically driving this down, which is going to change this shoulder angle right here. And then you've got the right, kind of the same thing, where the elbow's entering in first and then the hand. And, we want to get that hand in first and then really be able to set up where, particularly right about there, we'd have, extended out from the shoulder like that, and we'd have wrist below elbow, elbow below shoulder, so that we can set the catch and pull, which is what we really want to do. Now, she does a pretty good job, you can see right here, even in that setup, where she's getting a pretty good catch already and starting to pull herself forward a lot sooner. But, this is kind of killing her back here, the feet coming apart. Now, as we go forward, what you'll be able to see, and you can see it a little bit in the slow motion, there's a little bit of movement back and forth at her lower back, kind of at her hips. And I'm going to speed this up. We'll go more normal speed so you can see it. And just focus right down there. You can see just that hip kind of popping out on the right side, and it's actually popping out and up, which is usually an indication of either a hip injury or a weakness kind of in the lower core. And that would be something that she'd really want to address. And there's a couple ways to do it. It's typically just swimming more. Getting in the weight room is another one. And then, the other ones that, I typically use would be a lot of kicking with the brick in particular, which is a weighted kickboard, forces that core engagement. You can do swim with drag socks, or you can do, like getting on stretch cords in the water. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.